Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and today I'm joined by
Steve.
Patrick.
Noah.
and we've just finished playing Quoridor, which is actually a two-player abstract game, although we've all been playing this, but like separately. What you're trying to do is, I was white in this case, and you start on one end of the board, and you're just trying to move your piece to the opponent's kind of back row. If I get to any of those pieces along the back, I win the game. Equally, obviously, Steve is trying to get to my back row here. On your turn, you either move a space, so I could move here, obviously trying to get closer to his back row, or you can place a wall. Now, walls can be played kind of anywhere along the square, so they kind of cover two squares. So you could put it like this, or you could put it that way. There's no diagonal movement, so you can't move diagonally. You have to move orthogonally. So what you can't do is overlap them though. I can't squeeze it in there because like this wall is already occupying that space. I could put it here. Well, that would be quite nice because it blocks Steve off and it leaves me a nice little route through here. So what you're trying to do is build the walls to make it easy for you to move, but hard for them to move. So he's moved, so I'm going to move through the gap here. What's that? So he's blocked me off of that end, so now I'm going to have to go back round. Now there is a rule here. What you can't do is put one here because that completely blocks it off. You have to leave some possible route, no matter how meandering, through to the opponent's side, if you like. So I can't do that.
So if you did that first.
So yes, if I did that first, now Steve's not allowed to block me off, which is great. Now if you do finish next to each other, you might be like, what happens in this situation? You just block each other? Well, you can actually hop over each other. If Steve had just moved here, I can go ha-ha and jump over him. So that's quite nice as well. But essentially you either move one space or place a wall. First person to the other side is the winner. What do we think?
This is what an abstract game should be. It is super simple. You either move or place a wall on your turn. You've only got a limited number of walls, and when you run out of walls, you're stuffed. You generally don't want to be the first person to run out of walls because then your opponent can dictate the final shape of the board and dictate effectively how many moves you've got there. Every time you put a wall, it should be like adding to the number of spaces your opponent is away from the edge. In theory, you know what the best one single wall can do if it's placed next to the edge of the board is add 4 spaces effectively. It takes your opponent 4 more spaces to get to the space that your wall has stopped them from getting to. It's really good, that kind of dilemma about when you cut off the board in such a way that there's only one route through. If there are 2 routes through, you want to cut the one off that sends your opponent around more space than it sends you around. As a tactical game, there really isn't many more better versions of a 2-player like spatial awareness game than this.
Okay, Patrick?
Yeah, this game's great. I really enjoyed the fact that you can sort of see how the game's going to unfold, and you don't have to play out the boring end to some games where there might be that slim hope that someone can win. In the end, when I was playing, I just counted the number of squares and said, well, we don't have to worry about this anymore, and put up a new game, and you can finish a game in about 10 minutes, so it's nice and quick. A game that involves quite a bit of strategy, very easy to get the hang of. The only issue is that when we opened it, there was 4 characters, and there's possibly a 4-player mode, which might be quite confusing, but apart from that, it's good.
Okay, no?
Good game. I really enjoyed it. The fact that what I loved about it was the fact that it's so simple. You either like Steve said, you either place a wall or move a person. But then the thing is, because it's so simple, you only have to think about those 2 things. But there's still a lot of thinking to be done. And you can think for quite a while, but you don't really need to still do fairly well. So I really enjoyed it, and it might be one of my favourite abstract games.
Rating?
8.
Patrick?
We'll give it another 7.5.
Okay.
8.5.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I am not a big fan of abstract games generally, but this one, I think as Noah says, it's just so quick, it's so fun to play. I like the spatial element. There's enough to think about, not too much to think about, but certainly, I mean, this is one of the games that gets played at the Mind Sports Olympiad. If you take it to a high level, there is plenty of strategy here. You need to think very carefully about each of your moves, but still the games are relatively quick. So as an abstract game, it certainly ticks all the boxes for me. I don't think it really gets much better than this. I would be on an 8 out of 10. All right, thanks for watching. That was Quoridor.